Yeah. So, you know, I understand. There was, so growing up in the orphanage again, lots of stories come back from that. So, even though the orphanage was predominantly black, the other 18 kind of kids that lived there, there's all different colours of the spectrum. But at school, I was the only black kid for about 14 years. So up to year 9, I guess, year 9, year 10, isn't it? So my friends and those which I associated with were white. So I would come back and I would think I was white, which is clearly not the case. I'm a black guy. But I used to sit at home. So I've always been an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, depending on which way you look at it. So at home I was very shy, introverted. At school I was good at sport. I was almost forced to be extroverted, right? Captain of this team, that team, and blah, blah, blah. So I was really, really down about how I looked. You know, for me, my nose was too big, my lips were too big, skin was too dark, and I had some deep-seated issues about that, you know. And I used to not come out of my room for what felt like hours, you know, because I was just ashamed about how I looked. And at that point in time, my worldview was about that if you looked good, you had a better chance of making it. If you didn't, then, hey, sorry, but your chance of making it were very much reduced, okay? I'm not saying it's correct, but that's the belief system that I operate under during that time, you know? So, you know, I was down, and my sister, you know, Carol has got this scar on her leg, which is quite hideous. But then what happened was that, you know, meditation, even at that young age, helped me, you know, to understand the power. Also, I did a lot of self-work. A course called the Landmark Forum was incredibly opening and incredibly revealing for me as well, because then I began to understand, you know, the things which drive us, you know, and the different voices, that self-talk that we have going on all the time, which is going on right now, either supporting you or disempowering you, you know. So bringing all these things together, the meditation helped me to sink deep down and to realize my value as a human being wasn't connected to how I looked, wasn't connected to how people saw me in that physical way. It was connected to what I did and what I chose to do, and each day how I decided to live that day. So then it became one of those disempowering thoughts were there, but then through meditation I learned how to witness them. So witness in the sense of, if I'm standing at a set of traffic lights, I can watch the cars go by in either direction. Let's say I'm in the middle, cars going by this way and cars going by behind me. With meditation you learn to observe those cars as they go, but you don't hold on to them. What I was doing before is I was observing a red car, which is a disempowering thought of you're ugly, you're not good enough, you're not worthy. And I was holding on to that, and I was not only looking at that car, but I was studying that car. And then that became my whole world, right? So I was studying that car. What does it look like? What's the number plate? Are the tires worn? What are the nuts and bolts like? What's in the car? What's the dashboard like? What's the seat like? Is it worn? You know, so my life became that. And the understanding which I understood after that was, whatever I focus on, I get more of that. So if I focus on something negative and disempowering, I get more of that, right? So that's what I was doing. But with witness, that a very powerful state of meditation, I'm able to just observe that car and watch it go. But what happens is that I stay rooted to the present moment. So I live in the present, right? So those things there of living in the present, not in the past, not in the future, is incredibly empowering, because you create both at the same time. So now bringing it all together, so the thing about look and how I look, I realized was a disempowering thought which didn't mean anything. It was superficial at best. So I let that one go. Through witnessing and letting it go, it lost its power over me. So then I shifted my gaze to what do I want my life to stand for today? Right? So that's what I set off my intention in the morning. What do I want my life to mean today? I'd even visualize things which would take me to a positive thing. It's a bit like, you know, if I'm down in the dumps, let's say I'm an average guy, down in the dumps, I'm not having a great day, I win lotto. It comes through, I got a winning ticket. How's my state going to be? How's my state going to be transformed from one? It's going to be like night and day, right? All this change is my mind has allowed me to see something which has given me a thought or a picture of something that I really want to achieve or something I really want to have. Now, going back to my sister, I hope she doesn't mind me talking about it, but I had a long chat to her the other day. The scar on the leg, she let that become a disempowering thought. So all she then focused on was that scar on the leg and how disfiguring it was. Right? She had operations on it which didn't work. It became even more disfiguring in some kind of way. And the sad part is that I'm 40-something, she's older than me. She hasn't really had a relationship with somebody of any depth. She hasn't really, you know, that's a love relationship, you know, with a close person partner. So babies and being a mother and all those things are passing her by, you know. Friendships, just a normal friendship is passing her by. Her life is lived through that gaze. In summertime, it's a whole lot worse because people wearing short skirts and all this kind of stuff, and she can't. Because for her, she doesn't want to show this leg. So instead of her finding a different way to look at it, there are many people which live with things which are so much worse than that, you know. And I'm not going to go into what they are because it's how you look at something is what I'm trying to get across here. And how you decide to look at something, the filter that you give it and the power that you give it determines your reality. And through meditation, landmark forum, and a whole bunch of other things which I saw on my skin, I was then able to overcome that and then realize, you know, if my life sucks, it's down to me to change it. It's got nothing to do with the outside world. The solution to my issue is always within me. It's not outside of me. When I take that on board and I bring that in, it's enormously empowering because it means that you can actually do something about it. Most of the time, you know, when you're down upon yourself, and again, I understand why, and I understand how it can happen, but knowledge is power too, and that's what we speak about. That's why we let people know that there is another way, because it can be one conversation that can change someone's mentality, that can change someone's current state of thinking from one to the other if they want to change. Some people don't want to change, and that's the thing. So it's about the horse bringing it to water. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drink. If the horse really wants to drink, it will find a way to drink. So again, knowledge is power. Bring it together, empower yourself, realize that if there's something to correct, it's with you. And I've still got some things to correct in my life. But I understand that it's down to me to actually do it. And for me to take it on, it's for me to overcome that adversity by employing those things which I just actually explained to you about.